Hello and a very warm welcome to World This Week by Latest Laws. This is our weekly program, so subscribe and press the bell icon to get notified. My name is Monica Rahar and let's get started by having a look at Supreme Court this week. A petition filed before the Supreme Court claimed that the Special Marriages Act requiring parties to publish their private details for public scrutiny 30 days prior to the marriage is a violation of right to privacy guaranteed under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. The court has stayed bail granted to DLF promoters Wadhawan brothers Kapil and Dheeraj until October 7. The bail was granted by Bombay High Court in a money laundering case against them in connection with the Yes Bank fraud case. A three-judge bench of the Supreme Court in the case of R. Purnima and others versus Union of India and others has ruled that serving judicial officers cannot club their previous experiences as advocates to claim eligibility for elevation as High Court judges. The BCI, by invoking powers under Section 24A and 35 of the Advocates Act 1961, has directed the Delhi Bar Council to examine the Supreme Court decision imposing ₹1 fine on Prashant Bhushan for contempt of court. The Apex Court has issued notice to Madhya Pradesh High Court and state disciplinary proceedings against the district judge who was charged for sexual harassment by a woman judicial officer. Responding to a petition, the Apex Court has stated that the UGC guidelines have given universities discretion to conduct examination for the first and second year students, and therefore the universities are free to conduct these examinations and the court cannot stop them. A three-judge bench of Supreme Court has directed that bank accounts not declared as NPAs as on August 31st should not be declared as NPA until these matters before the court are disposed of. The Apex Court has issued notice to the respondents on an appeal filed by the government of Andhra Pradesh, whose order mandating English medium from classes 1 to 5th in government schools was struck down by the state's High Court. A three-judge bench dismissed a plea of a boy accused of killing a 7-year-old boy at a private school in Gurugram. His plea had challenged the Punjab and Haryana High Court, refusing to grant him relief under Section 12 of the Juvenile Justice Act. The Apex Court has also dismissed a PIL seeking delay in Bihar Assembly elections till the state is free of COVID-19 and floods. The court has stated that COVID-19 cannot be a ground for postponing elections. The top court has also dismissed a plea of fugitive businessman Vijay Mallya seeking review of its 2017 order holding him guilty of contempt of court for transferring $40 million to his children's account. Now let's proceed to the next segment of our news analysis and see Delhi High Court this week. In response to a petition, the court has directed the Delhi University to set up a mechanism for issuance of digital degree certificates. The petitioners in this case have contended that, in spite of their submission of documents online, the university was insisting on submission of their applications offline as well. The Patiala House Court Additional District Judge has restrained HarperCollins from publishing the book titled Gunning the Gunman, the True Story Behind Asaram Bapu's Conviction a day before its release. The special CBI judge discharged Topworth Urja and Metal Limited director, its president and vice president in a coal block allocation case. The High Court has refused to stay the streaming of Netflix movie Gunjan Saxena, The Kargil Girl, after the centre claimed it depicted the Indian Air Force in a negative light owing to the gender disparity shown in the movie. The change in eligibility criteria to participate in tenders for providing ground handling services in various regional airports was criticized by the court, which stated that the central government was being hypocritical with regard to promoting local entrepreneurs because on the one hand it talks about Atmanirbhar Bharat and on the other hand it is overlooking the interest of local entrepreneurs. Now let's proceed with the Bombay High Court and see what transpired before the court this week. In response to two petitions filed by former police officers and activists, the court has asked news agencies and media to exercise restraint in its reporting of investigations, which is done in the case of Sushant Singh Rajput's death. The High Court has held that in a marriage, husband and wife are equal partners and wife is best suited to be the guardian of her husband who is in a vegetative state. The High Court has rejected a bail application of lawyer and activist Sudha Bhardwaj, who was one of the accused in the Bhima Koregaon case. Now let's have a look at the Allahabad High Court. The court dismissed a batch of petitions which sought permission for carrying out the Moratorium procession while holding that right to practice and propagate religion is subject to public order, morality and health. The High Court has ordered Dr. Kapil Khan's immediate release and the dropping of stringent NSA charges against him, which were invoked earlier this year over an inflammatory alleged speech by him against the Citizenship Amendment Act delivered at Aligarh Muslim University. Now let's proceed with the miscellaneous segment of our news analysis. In an unprecedented move, NLSIU Bangalore has announced that instead of CLAT, it is going to take admission on the basis of National Law Aptitude Test 2020. Oyo Rooms has won a trademark infringement suit against its rival Joyo Rooms. In the year 2015, 189 Indian citizens had used sexual orientation as a ground for seeking asylum in the UK, but as per new data, applications from India fell after the Supreme Court struck down Section 377 IPC. The Special NIA Court in Jammu conducted its first hearing in the Pulwama suicide attack case. A PIL has been moved in the Jharkhand court seeking judicial order to the government of state concerned to immediately shift fodder scam convict Lalu Prasad to the Ranchi jail. The Union Cabinet has approved the Jammu and Kashmir Official Languages Bill 2020, in which 5 languages including Urdu, Kashmiri, Dogri, Hindi and English will be the official languages. In order to simplify the procedure for registration of marriages, Haryana government has approved a proposal for transferring of cases of Haryana Compulsory Marriage Registration Act 2008 to Department of Revenue and Disaster Management. Now let's proceed with the last segment of our news analysis, which is the international news. The World Bank has paused publication of Doing Business report, which carries the Ease of Doing Business rankings. This move is in wake of a number of reported irregularities regarding changes to data in 2018 and 20 reports. An anti-terrorism court in Pakistan has sentenced 3 senior leaders of Jamaat-ud-Dawa to 16 years imprisonment for terror financing. Fabiana Pierre-Louis has become the first black woman to be nominated as a judge in Supreme Court of New Jersey. The Bangladesh High Court in a historic verdict has stated that the Hindu widows are entitled to shares in all properties owned by their late husbands and not just their homesteads. India has joined the group of top 50 countries in the Global Innovation Index for the first time, moving up 4 places to the 48th rank and keeping the top position among the nations in Central and Southern Asia. That's all we have for this week. Thank you very much for being with us. We hope this was a productive session for all of us. The link to these news updates is given in the description box for your kind consideration. Until we come up with our next video, keep sharing, keep supporting, stay tuned, take care and happy learning.